Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are fine and in a good condition. We are Siti Khoiriyah and Djuhariyyah Nawang Hamukti, and in this video we will explain about sentence. Okay, let's check the material. The first material is definition of sentence. Sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. Sentence always have a subject and a verb. Jadi, sentence adalah sekelompok kata yang di dalamnya selalu memiliki subjek dan kata kerja. For example, she is working. The children are playing. And based on the structure, sentence types are divided into 4 types, namely simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. And the first is simple sentence. Simple sentence in grammar has only one main or independent clause and no dependent or subordinate clause. A simple sentence must have a single clause, which is independent, and it cannot take another clause. Jadi, simple sentence hanya memiliki satu klausa utama atau independent dan tidak memiliki dependent clause. Dalam simple sentence, di dalamnya harus memiliki kata kerja tunggal yang independen dan tidak dapat mengambil klausa lain. For example, I always wanted to become a writer. Dalam kalimat tersebut terdapat satu clause dan satu verb. And the next is types of simple sentence. The first, compound verbs and compound subject. Some sentences have single subject and 2 or more verbs. Other sentences have a single verb and 2 or more subject. Jadi, dalam tipe yang pertama ini, beberapa kalimat memiliki satu subjek dan 2 atau lebih kata kerja, serta kalimat lain memiliki satu kata kerja dan 2 atau lebih subjek. For example, the dog barked and ran. Arnold and Juan play cricket every evening. And the next types is single subject and single verb. This type of simple sentence has only one subject and one verb. For example, my sister read the magazine. And the next material is compound sentence. A compound sentence joins 2 or more independent clauses with a coordinate such as for, and, or, but. Jadi, compound sentence menggabungkan 2 atau lebih independent clause dengan koordinat seperti for, and, or, atau but. For example, Alex likes to fish and he is going fishing on Friday. In sentence Alex likes to fish is an independent clause where Alex is the subject, likes is the action, and complete thought is expressed. And in sentence he is going fishing on Friday, is an independent clause where he is the subject, is going is the action, and a complete thought is expressed. And then the coordinator n is used and a comma is correctly placed before n. The next material is complex sentence. A complex sentence is a sentence that contains an independent clause and one or more dependent clause. Jadi, complex sentence adalah kalimat yang di dalamnya berisi independent clause dan satu atau lebih dependent clause. For example, in the sentence, I know that you always wanted to be a writer. Here, a dependent clause is followed by a connector and an independent clause. The other way around is also possible. The next is part of complex sentence. Part of complex sentence is subordinating conjunction in complex sentence. The word used to link an independent clause to a dependent clause is called a subordinating conjunction. The most common subordinating conjunction are although, because, before, even, though, if, since, until, and when. For example, in the sentence, we can never obtain peace in the outer world until we make peace with ourselves. Jadi, pada part of complex sentence ini, kata yang digunakan untuk menghubungkan dependent clause disebut subordinating conjunction. Contohnya, although, because, before, even, though, if, since, until, and when. Dan pada contoh kalimat tersebut, subordinating conjunction-nya adalah pada kata until. Next material is compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence is a mixture or the features of compound and complex sentence in one sentence. So it must contain at least two independent clause and at least one dependent clause. Jadi, compound complex sentence adalah campuran antara compound sentence and complex sentence. Dalam compound complex sentence, setidaknya harus berisi dua independent clause dan satu dependent clause. For example, in the sentence, I know that you always wanted to become a writer, but I always wanted to become a doctor. Here, one dependent clause is followed by a complex connector and two independent clauses with a compound conjunction. In the next part of compound complex sentence, the first part is independent clause in compound complex sentence. The independent clause in a compound complex sentence are called coordinate clause because they are coordinate to work together on equal terms within the same sentence. Jadi, independent clause pada compound complex sentence disebut coordinate clause. For example, in the sentence, usually I take a walk every day while the sun sets, but it was raining today. The next part of compound complex sentence is dependent clause in compound complex sentence. The dependent clause in compound complex sentence will not be complete sentence on their own. They are dependent on the other clauses of the sentence because they don't fully make sense without them. For example, even though she was tired, Abby knew she had to finish the race and she ran to meet her team. In this sentence, the dependent clause, even though she was tired, tells us why Abby was having trouble finishing the race. It doesn't make sense without the independent clause it dependent on. The clause is also introduced by even though, which is a subordinating conjunction.
Let's move to the next material. Based on the purpose, sentence types are divided into 4 types, namely declarative sentence, imperative sentence, exclamatory sentence, and interrogative sentence. The first one, declarative sentence. A declarative sentence makes a statement, gives an explanation, conveys a fact, or provides information. This type of sentence is also known as a declarative statement, as it may be considered a declaration expressing a fact. A declarative sentence is punctuated with a period. Declarative sentence itu adalah kalimat yang memberikan pernyataan, memberikan penjelasan, mengungkapkan fakta, dan juga memberikan informasi. Nah, kalimat ini diakhiri dengan tanda titik. Examples, the sun comes up in the morning. Kalimat ini merupakan kalimat fakta. My neighbor's dog chases cars. Nah, kalimat yang kedua ini memberikan informasi. Dan yang ketiga, water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. Kalimat yang terakhir ini sama dengan kalimat yang pertama, yaitu mengungkapkan fakta. The second is imperative sentence. Imperative sentence dalam bahasa Indonesia itu berarti kalimat perintah. An imperative sentence consists of command, demand, instruction, or request. An imperative sentence often begins with the main verb and is a complete sentence in composition. An imperative sentence is usually punctuated with a period. Kalimat perintah ini biasanya sering diawali dengan kata kerja dan juga diakhiri dengan tanda titik. Examples, give me the money, pass the potatoes, be quiet. The third type is exclamatory sentence. An exclamatory sentence is a sentence that expresses extreme emotion such as surprise, excitement, fear, or anger. Usually, an exclamatory sentence is punctuated with an exclamation point or exclamation mark. Exclamatory sentence atau kalimat seru adalah kalimat yang mengungkapkan emosi seperti terkejut, kegembiraan, ketakutan, atau kemarahan. Biasanya, exclamatory sentence ini diakhiri dengan exclamation mark atau tanda seru. For example, run for your lives. The tiger is loose. Surprise! An interesting variation on the exclamatory sentence is the type of sentence known as exclamatory in form. This type of sentence begins with the word what or the word how, but it's not a question. It is an exclamation that ends with an exclamation point. Ada tipe lain dari exclamatory sentence, di mana kalimat tersebut diawali dengan kata what atau kata how, tetapi itu bukan sebuah pertanyaan. For examples, How you have grown. What a beautiful dress. What a mess. Seperti itu. And the last is interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is a question, a request, or a plea for more information. An interrogative sentence usually begins with an auxiliary verb or an adverb with the subject placed later in the sentence. Words such as who, what, where, when, how, why, did, would, could, and etc. often begin interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is punctuated with a question mark. Dalam bahasa Indonesia, interrogative sentence itu berarti kalimat tanya. Nah, kalimat tanya ini itu adalah kalimat yang digunakan untuk bertanya, meminta, atau meminta lebih informasi, sebuah informasi. Interrogative sentence ini biasanya dimulai dengan auxiliary verb atau adverb, tetapi juga bisa dimulai dengan question words. Interrogative sentence diakhiri dengan question mark atau tanda tanya. Examples: Would you take out the trash? Who is the man? Where is the frying pan? Okay, I think that's enough from our explanation about sentence. Thank you for your attention and thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.